live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bringing you the news from Sri Lanka and across the world, it's your national news broadcast on Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
The government is commended over the decision taken to hold an exposition of the sacred tooth relic. The Prime Minister also assures there is no threat to the national security. Deserters of armed forces will be arrested with immediate effect. 3 suspects detained in connection with Ganemulla Sanjeeva's killing remanded. A relief package of food to the low-income families for the new year. The Air Force cycle tour commences on the 28th. National television telecasts the event live. Friedrich Merz appointed the new Chancellor of Germany.
We now move on to those and other stories in detail, taking a look at local news first. Many parties, including Mahasangha, have expressed their commendation for the measures taken by the government to protect the country's cultural heritage.
Accordingly, an exposition of the sacred tooth relic is to be conducted for the benefit of devotees after the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Many parties expressed their gratitude to the government for the decision taken to hold an exposition of the sacred tooth relic for the first time in over a decade. The sacred tooth relic was brought to the Kandyan kingdom, which is considered the last kingdom of the island. Since then, the sacred tooth relic has been placed at the Sri Dalada Maligava until today. Even during the colonial era, religious observances and rituals were carried out under the patronage of Malwatu and Askiri Mahanayaka Theras. According to history, it has been reported that exposition of the sacred tooth relic has been carried out from time to time. However, due to the security problems, the sacred relics were not displayed for a long period of time. Later in 2004, exhibition of the tooth relic was carried out under the tenure of Niranjan Vijayaratne as the Diyavadana Nilame. The last Sri Dalada exhibition was held in March 2009 when present Diyavadana Nilame Pradeep Nilangadala was appointed to that position. Registrar of the Askiri chapter, Venerable Madagama Dhammananda Thera, says that most probably this exhibition will take place for about 10 to 12 days after the 18th of April. There would not be only local visitors but also foreigners as well to worship the tooth relic. This exhibition would be held for the blessings of the country and the people. Mahasangha will invoke their blessings to the government for its commitment to follow the ancient tradition and cultural heritage.
The government is focusing on providing packs of essential food items to low-income earners in preparation for the upcoming Sinhala and Tamil New Year. In order to make policy decisions related to ensuring food security, Ministers K.D. Lalkantha and Basantha Samarasinghe, along with members of the Food Policy and Security Committee, gathered for the third time today at the Parliament premises to focus on these matters. The meeting also concentrated on ensuring the continuous availability of essential food items without shortages during the Sinhala and Tamil New Year period, as well as maintaining price control over these goods. During the meeting, the budget proposal to allocate 1 billion rupees to provide essential food items at subsidized prices to low-income families during the festive season was thoroughly discussed. The discussion also focused on maintaining essential goods prices at minimal levels in the market, with particular attention given to the reduction of bakery product prices. The purchase of rice was another key point of discussion, with attention directed towards ensuring that rice mill owners use the credit facilities provided to purchase the appropriate quantities of rice. Concerns were raised that some rice mill owners were using the credit for other purposes, and officers were instructed to investigate these matters. It was disclosed that several prominent rice mill owners had obtained over 15 billion rupees in bank loans for the procurement of rice.
Consequently, the government plans to purchase 250,000 metric tons of rice and has focused on encouraging small rice mill owners to engage in the purchasing of processed Officials were further directed to ensure the prevention of any rice shortages. Additionally, the meeting discussed the expansion of the cooperative and Satosa trade networks to offer essential goods at subsidized prices to consumers. The establishment of a consumer-friendly market supported by effective price controls was also addressed. In more local news, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that the government will never leave room for any problem relating to the national security. Participating in the debate in Parliament on the second reading of the budget today, the Premier stated that all required measures have been taken to strengthen national security. Ruling and opposition members of the House expressed their views in this connection as well. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that the killing culture among the underworld gangs may pose a big threat to national security. Therefore, the government should provide a clarification on this issue. Under the intelligence information, more proper program should be implemented. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that the subject minister clarified on this matter several times. The President also said that this issue will be seriously taken. The government will never leave room for this problem to become a threat to national security. The government has already taken a number of measures in this connection. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that the President, Advisory Council of the Defence Ministry and Minister Anand Vijaypala also expressed their views on the matter. The investigations are being carried out. All information of this investigation should not be revealed to the Parliament. Revealing this information may cause the problem to be more complicated. Even the members of the security forces and police have also been taken to custody in this connection. The investigations are being carried out intensively. MP Gayantha Karunatilaka said that the salary increase for the government servants is more complicated and difficult to understand. The salary increase lasts for 3 years. Government wants to highlight the salary increase as a big issue. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the first stage of the salary increase will be effective from April. The second part will be given to the government servants in another 8 months by January next year. The third will be realized in another 12 months. Therefore, the entire salary increase will be implemented within a period of 20 months. At the third stage, in January 2027, all allowances, including OT, will be counted on the basic salary. He added that this constitution will be continued until a new constitution is prepared. The people will be provided with ample time to express their views and proposals. Considering all these ideas, considering all the views of the government, this will be prepared as a new constitution. Government is keen to build up the collapsed country.
The Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Air Vice Marshal Sampath Tuyakonta, issued an order for the immediate arrest of all deserters from the security forces. It has been reported that many members of security forces with weapon training have deserted the military service. This has become a critical social issue at present. Therefore, measures will be taken to arrest all the members of security forces who have deserted the service.
Colombo Magistrates Court today ordered to remand 3 suspects who have been arrested and detained regarding the murder of Ganemullah Sanjeeva until the 7th of next month. The suspects who were in custody of Colombo Crime Division were produced before the courts today. Then the Colombo magistrate Tanuka Lakmali ordered them to be remanded. The inquest regarding Ganemullah Sanjeeva's killing was held and evidence was recorded before the Colombo Chief Magistrate today. A lawyer and 2 police constables who were at the court premises at the time of the shooting gave evidence there. Further investigation of recording evidence was postponed to the 27th of this month.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that the government has allocated from the budget the highest amount in history for the well-being of women and children so far. She has made these remarks participating in several programs in Anuradhapura area. After arriving in Anuradhapura, the Prime Minister first worshipped The historic Jayashree Mahabodhi premises then met Chief Incumbent of Atamasthana, Venerable Pallegama Hemaratana Thera, and received blessings. Mahasangha, headed by the Atamasthana Adipati Thera, and state officials also held a discussion with her. There they focused attention to form the Sri Mahabodhi Development Fund. Later, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya took part in a media briefing.
Later, the Prime Minister engaged in religious observances at the Ruwanveli Sayar sacred premises. Mahasangha, headed by Guardian of the Ruwanveli Sayar, Venerable E. Thalavattunavave Gunatilaka Thera, chanted Set Pirit and blessed her. A meeting with women was also held under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. A large crowd of women and public representatives were present at this occasion. The Prime Minister said that this budget was very well shown and it has shown the government's development direction. Not a single segment of the society has been left behind by the budget. There are many issues in these well-planned budgets. Especially, measures have been taken for the welfare of women and children. These services were only paid lip service so far. Now that these targets will actually being fulfilled, the government has allocated required funds from this budget for efficient proposals. In today's budget feature, attention has been paid to the industry and investment, labour and foreign employment, postal, tourism and commerce sectors. ₹9 billion have been allocated under the budget this year in the theme Economic Services and Entrepreneurship. The amount set aside for promotion of industries is ₹7.98 billion, while a sum of ₹2.4 billion have been allocated for the purpose of attracting investments. The amount set aside for labour and foreign employment has been ₹1.11 billion, while postal services have been granted an amount of ₹23.91 billion. At the same time, ₹38.64 billion have been earmarked for the development of small and medium-scale enterprises development. An amount of ₹14.4 billion have been allocated to provide facilities in tourism, while ₹4.2 billion have been earmarked to provide facilities for commercial activities. Another amount of ₹1.5 billion have been earmarked to establish new industrial zones to improve the infrastructure facilities of already established industrial zones. The amount allocated for the purpose of running water facilities bordering the Colombo port city and drainage facilities along with utility facilities is ₹1.38 billion. Chairman of the Divolka Electric, Dhammika Samaravikrama, said that special estates will be set up for the rubber industry and industry of motor vehicles assembly. Through this, the number of direct and indirect employees will also be increased and foreign exchange outflow will also be reduced as a result. The rupee will be strengthened. Industry management and marketing consultant Asela Gunasekara observed that Made in Sri Lanka brand can be more popularized and promoted. Valuable foreign exchange can be saved and products of high quality can be exported. This can be termed as optimistic development. Now, the Supreme Court today fixed dates to hear 9 fundamental rights petitions filed to issue an order stating that the appointment of Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakone as Inspector General of Police is against the Constitution. Accordingly, the concerned petition will be taken up for hearing on the 6th, 7th and 8th of May. These petitions were taken up in the presence of a 5-member panel of judges today. Attorney-at-Law Romesh De Silva, appearing on behalf of Deshabandhu Tennakone, stated that an interim prevention order has been issued preventing his client from his duties as the IGP. He requested the court to provide immediate dates in order to hear this petition. After considering facts, the 5-member panel of judges ordered to take up the concerned petitions on the 6th, 7th and 8th of May. Petitions have been filed by His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, the Association of Young Journalists, along with several other parties. The Colombo High Court today ordered to provide copies of original documents regarding presently banned assets of former Minister Keheli Rambukwalla and his family members. This decision has come after the consideration of the request made by attorneys at law who appeared on behalf of them from the court. In more local news, moving on, Prasanna Pereira has been appointed as the President's Media Director General. The appointment letter in his respect has been handed over to him by the Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumanayaka, at the Presidential Secretariat today. Prasanna Pereira is a postgraduate in mass communications from the University of Kelaniya. He received his bachelor's degree from the University of Peradeniya and a postgraduate diploma in communications from the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Meanwhile, senior journalist Chandana Surya Bandara has been officially appointed as the media advisor to the President, and veteran journalist Anuruddha Lokuhapuarachi has been appointed as the Director of International Media and Strategic Communications under the President's Media Division. Every now and then we hear about Sri Lankan heroes that make us just think simply wow. Sri Lankan mountaineer and champion Johan Pires arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayaka this morning after successfully climbing two of the highest mountains in the world. He was warmly welcomed at the Katunayaka Airport at the time of his arrival. He has climbed the summits of Mount Vincent in Antarctica and the summit of Aconcagua in Argentina in South America. Accordingly, he has already climbed Mount Everest in the Asian continent, Kilimanjaro in Africa, in Kosciuszko in Australia, Elbrus in Europe, Vincent in Antarctica, and Aconcagua in South America, I beg your pardon. Johan Pires says that he is yet to climb the only summit in Alaska that is called Mount Denali. For this endeavor, he is scheduled to leave the country in May. He further said that about 400 people have climbed the 7 highest mountain summits in the world so far. Now, in more local news, a fundamental discussion was held at the Ministry of Justice today in order to establish an independent prosecutor's office. Attorney General's Department, Sri Lanka Police, Sri Lanka Bar Association and Supreme Court Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, along with a group of others, attended this discussion. Minister Attorney at Law Harshan Nanakara said that he has instructed to prepare a cabinet paper as soon as possible in order to establish this independent prosecutor's office and to appoint a committee officially. After its establishment, continuous discussions will be held in order to decide as to how this prosecutor's office will be set up and what will be their duties. It will also be decided as to how human resources and technological assets required in this process could be acquired. The final aim will be set up in an efficient and prosecution unit. Now, in more local news, Minister Sunil Handunetti has stated that an international centre for gems and jewellery will be commenced in the future in Colombo. It will be established in a manner where local and foreign investors and industrialists would be provided with day and night services. The minister made these observances in a meeting between him and industrialists and entrepreneurs in Ratnapura. The event was held in the district secretariat. The minister was presented with the problems faced by industrialists in Ratnapura. Deputy Minister Chaturanga Besingha also joined this occasion. In his address, Minister Sunil Handunetti further said that no political intervention as earlier has been done recently in the gem industry. Minister Sunil Handunetti said that political influence has been used in the mining sector in Ratnapura, which has been completely removed by now. Stern action will be taken in this regard to order to protect the industry and the environment, in case there is a law that also has to be implemented. The minister added that it is expected to bring this industrialist to the highest plane through the justifiable taxes paid by them. It has also been proposed to set up an international centre in Colombo to purchase gems and jewellery, which will also provide a day and night service. An industrial estate will also be set up and it will provide technology required by those in the industry, which will also cater to the infrastructure facilities in the gems and jewellery sector. At present, around $350 billion is being generated as an income in the gem sector. A special discussion to provide speedy solutions for these problems existent in the Ayurveda medical service recently at the Ministry of Health was discussed as well. Now, the discussions were held between Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa and the officials of the Government Ayurvedic Physicians Association. The establishment of Ayurvedic Medical Centre Act, methodical establishment of the indigenous medical system within the national health policy, providing employment to unemployed graduate Ayurvedic physicians, requisition of allowances in accordance with the health circulars and other demands were extensively discussed during the discussion. The minister, presenting his views in this regard, informed the Ayurvedic physicians that a health policy inclusive of all sectors of the health service will be formulated and asked them to forward suggestions in this respect. The importance of appointing a formal committee to introduce new amendments to the Ayurveda Act and Ayurvedic Code was also pointed out. The minister took steps to provide speedy solutions to those demands which can be resolved soon from among the professional demands of the government Ayurvedic physicians. Ayurvedic Commissioner Dr. Dhammika Gunawardena, along with other officials, were also present at this occasion. More local news. Attention has been drawn to implement the complete compilation of Sinhala and Tamil New Year auspicious times through the New Year program from next year. Discussions in this regard has been held in a meeting held with the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Hiniduma Sunil Senavi, and the representatives of the field of astrology. The representatives of the astrology field that said that they can expect the direct intervention of the ministry to conduct the compilation of Sinhala and Tamil New Year auspicious times in an orderly manner from next year. Accordingly, the minister instructed the officials to formulate a program where they can participate in a meeting in one day with the mediation of the ministry and to present their proposals who are engaged in the field of astrology. In the meantime, the minister said he held discussions with a group of persons who conduct open-air musical shows. Attention has been paid towards actions which can be taken in order to improve the quality of open-air musical shows and to present limitations in holding them. A number of proposals in this respect is also presented to the minister. Remains of the veteran teledrama director late Santusha Liyanage are now lying at the Mahinda Panagoda funeral parlour in Koswatta in Battarmulla. The funeral is to be held at 5 p.m. tomorrow at the Talahena General Cemetery. He had joined the drama unit of the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation in 1990 and retired from 34 years of service recently. Santosh Liyanage, during his professional career, had directed many serial and single episode teledramas which included Kahala Nadya, Bhavar Tirtha, Duli Pintaru, Vishwantara, Jeevanandara and many other series and singles episode teledramas. The special feature of his creation was subjected to award presentations locally and internationally. He was a senior producer at the drama unit of the SLRC at the time of his retirement. He was 57 years old at his demise. Foreign news on the other side. Stay tuned.
Dua, did you brush your teeth?
Yes, ma'am.
Puta, is your school bag ready?
Yes, ma'am. Ready.
Did you lock the gate?
Yes.
Did you all check for dengue mosquito breeding places?
Yes.
Then good night.
Good
Good night.
Exactly. Every day, everybody. Focus for dengue control.
Friedrich Mehr's Christian Democratic Party have won the Germans' election, well ahead of the rival parties but short of the 30% vote share they had expected. After the collapse of the Olaf Scholz three-party coalition late last year, Friedrich Merz had asked the electorate asked the electorate for a strong mandate to form a clear-out coalition with the other party that would enable him to solve as many of Germany's problems as he could in 4 years, from a stagnant economy to closing its borders to irregular migrants. German voters had other ideas. They came out in big numbers with a 83% turnout, not seen since before the reunification in 1990. Friedrich Merz's Christian Democrats, 28.6% of the vote. CDC secured 208 seats in the parliament. With 20% of the vote, Alternative for German Party 1 secured the second highest number of votes, winning 152 seats.
Prima Kottumi, Fantamai.
Last but not least, we are back with the sports news. Now, the Air Force Cycle Tour will commence from the 28th of this month. The 3-day event will be live telecast through the ChannelEye of the SLRC. The cycle tour has been organized to mark the 74th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force. It has been organized for the 26th occasion this year. A media briefing was held at the Air Force headquarters today to inform the media on this event. Chairman of the Air Force Cycling Association, Air Vice Marshal Indika Wickramasinghe, Secretary Group Captain Ranga Pereira and Sports Director General Shamal Fernando participated at this event. The cycle tour will be held both male and female events this year. The men's race this year will be held in 3 stages. The race begins from Veeravilla and the first stage ends in the Ratnapura district, covering a distance of 125 kilometers. The second stage will be held in Ratnapura to Kandy, a distance of 125 kilometers yet again. The third and final stage will be held from Kandy to Colombo, covering a distance of 152 kilometers. The relevant checks of sponsorship for the race were offered today at the press briefing. According to LG, Barnes, People's Insurance and Maliban Vitagen are the official sponsors of this event. Well, that was a look at the news here at ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation. I am Siobhan Pereira together with Sharif Tahir. Wish you a pleasant evening. Take care.